I noticed something about this camcorder. It's got the lens cap on, but look at that. There's an empty space there in the bottom corner. You can see that I definitely do have the lens cap on. But you can see that it doesn't quite close 100%. Here you can see my Epson Perfection 1250 scanner. I took it out of where it was because, well, A, I wanted to do some reorganization, and B, I don't use it, so I figured that it's probably easier for me to find some permanent place for this and only bring it out when I need it. So we'll see where I'm going to put it. I'm probably going to just put it in the closet on top of the old printer, and whenever I need it, I'll just take it out of there and use it. I just found out what happens with the CX240 when the memory card has issues. It crashes the entire camcorder. Under any circumstances, as you can probably see, I've been doing a lot of reorganization, and I'll tell you what, the positioning for this new camera, well, it's not a new camera, but it's a new camera position, I guess, is absolutely, as Mr. McGuire would put it, bitchin' the shiznits. And it's sitting on top of the printer now. It used to be sitting on top of this thing, and I actually used to be using this tripod right here, but I decided that I want to use this for other purposes. So I'm now using the world's flimsiest mini tripod, but it gets the job done, I suppose. And I can now use this for when I want to film something with this camera, and it fits too, because this is a Sony tripod. I moved the Pentium D custom build, stream encoder, capture PC, you know, whatever you want to call it at this particular hour, over here, which, while it does limit me in terms of what I can plug into the headphone port, I have an extender for that very reason, and we should be okay with all of that. And all the other cabling should be fine. I'm going to test it here in just a second, because I've just put it in here. It does have networking going to it now. I changed the cable, so it's a shorter cable. It won't be, you know, freaking huge and taking up more room back there than already is taken up. As you can see, it's still an absolute cable management disaster. Yeah, that's kind of a problem. I will need to go through and I will need to change all of that at some point here in the near future. But here's something that you probably were not expecting to see in this setup. And no, it's not the PowerBook G4, and it's going to stay here. See, I've got the iMac G3 350 still sitting right here. And it's still being used to transfer photos off of my digital camera. However, an old friend has resurfaced. That's right, I took it out of the closet and finally gave it a more permanent home. This is the iMac G3, formerly 350, but it's got a 600 megahertz upgraded board in it. Unfortunately, the CRT tube has taken a bit of a plunge further off the deep end. I don't know what it's doing. It sounds like it's arcing off of something, but it's jittering. The picture is jittery, you know, and it gets worse as the machine warms up. So hopefully it's not a sign that the thing is going to, I don't know, catch fire or something. But I don't know. But we're gonna power it on for the first time in a long time, at least on camera, anyways. I did power it on yesterday. So here we go. Hear just how quiet the startup chime is, even though it should be louder. Now, I'm going to cover my hand with that, or it up with my hand, because I want to give a warning here. There is going to be flashing lights in just a second once I remove my hand. So if you suffer from, I don't know, epilepsy or any of that kind of stuff, I would advise you stop the video right now. Okay, here we go. See it booting there. Focus is freaking out, but I kind of expected that. And it is almost exactly as I left it. I did do a couple changes. Changed the desktop background, but that actually really is it. You can see Classic starting up there. Mac OS 9.2. I'm thinking about reinstalling OS 9 on here, and then installing OS 10 on top of it. Or, you know, figuring out how I can install OS 9 without overwriting anything on the hard drive. I don't have any OS 9 applications. I'm going to be transferring a few of them from the G3 350 over to this thing, and we'll see what happens on that front. So, there you go. In fact, I might just install them from CD, because I do have a couple of discs of stuff that I want to install. But if we take a look, you can see just as it was. Come on. OS 10.4.11. 600 megahertz PowerPC G3, almost said G4 there, and 768 megabytes of RAM. The hard drive is still a 15 gigabyte Western Digital. Let's go ahead and do a get info on that. I think is the way you can do this. Yep, as you can see, capacity 14.21 gigabytes. It's in good shape. It's really quiet. It's not like those Maxter Screamer drives. And there you basically go. The old friend is back out and ready to go again, even with the jittery picture. Like I said, it gets worse once the machine's been warmed up for a while, and I could probably see it better than a camera ever will be able to see it. It is online. If we take a look, you can see built-in Ethernet, has an IP address, and it is connected to the internet. Almost said connected to the Ethernet. That's a given. Let's see, what else have we got in here? Date and time is correct. It was not when I first turned it on, but it doesn't have a clock battery in it. I do need to buy one of those. And I think when I buy one of those, I'm going to go in and I'm going to clean the machine out. Because if we take a look at the back here, watch it choose now to explode. Well, maybe you won't be able to see it. Let's see if I can get a decent angle of it. Yeah, you can see there's well, maybe not. It probably won't focus on it, but there is quite a bit of dust inside this machine. It needs to be cleaned out. I've got a can of air sitting on the ground for that sole purpose. So I will be dealing with that as soon as I can, as soon as I get the opportunity. And that, I believe, is pretty much going to do it. There's not much else I need to really talk about. And it's an iMac G3. What else is there really to say? Once you've seen one, you've seen them all. It seems awfully slow for what it is. But that's probably because it's running 10.4 as opposed to OS 9. You can hear the CRT shut off. But there you go. There is the updated setup. And I'm going to continue listening to the Memorial Day weekend All-Star Show. I love these speakers. I'm going to shut my camera off before I get a copyright strike.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? Putting on the Ritz.